Hey, this is Deri, and welcome to the No Regrets series. Now, you should have seen the first. This is video 4, and it's kind of on a roll now. So go back to the introductory video to watch that. Regret number 6, which was travel. Regret number 5, not living a life true to you. And now this is regret number 4. And this is not getting that degree or that education that you wanted. Now, this was an interesting one. This is not a regret of mine, and this is why it surprised me in the rankings. And it was actually ranking very high, actually, for a lot of older people, because I don't think they had access to the regrets of the dying who were in their like 60s and 70s. They didn't have access to the education we had today, so a lot of older people regretted this way more. And I think that was hard to get the education they wanted back then. No excuses these days. We have got unbelievable access to education. If you're watching this, you can get educated on anything you want right now, right? So this surprised me as just how high up the rankings this came. Now, one of the first things was it kind of linked back to not living a life true to yourself, which was regret number 5, because a number of people didn't get the degree they wanted. I.e., they were steered down a degree route that they were kind of guided down by parents or the educational system, whatever. I have to say, I was like that. I did a chemical engineering degree because there was oil refineries in West Wales, and that's all that was there. I was good at maths, physics, and chemistry, but I liked those subjects, and I was drilled down that route. Now, equally, I loved art and I loved business studies, but back in those days, they weren't deemed as appropriate subjects, and I was steered down a different path. Now, I don't regret that actually, because I came out and I think the path's been right for me. But I think so many people take the degree that they wanted to do a degree and they didn't actually do the other. So that was a common theme here, but also degree slash education. Now, that was quite wide in that people wanted to wish they'd had learned to learn a language or play music, or it's what would you want to be educated on. And this is something I advocate massively, and I talk on the stages about this quite openly, in business, in life, in anything, and it's mastery. Because I think we've got access to these beautiful things called phones where we can do anything we want on them these days. We can learn anything we want on them. However, we're so quick in our learning and we're so flippant in what we can learn in 5 minutes. We forget that there's this mastery thing needed. And that's what I'm talking about in this regret. It's what do you want to gain mastery in, not what you want to learn on YouTube in the next 10 minutes. Degree is a different thing, but what do you want to master? What's your passion? This comes back to passions and purpose, which is if you're really passionate or something and you're on purpose, you're on a path to mastery. And a path to mastery is never done. For any masters out there who'll know that, right? But when I decided I wanted to climb the 7 highest mountains in the world, the 7 summits, I was on a path to mastery. Now, that's not something, I'll tell you what, I'm going to quickly look it up on YouTube in 5 minutes and then I'll be a mountaineer. This was something I had to dedicate myself to. I had to get coaching on. I went with some of the greatest mountain guides. I chose the best paths, the best routes, the best technical gear. And by the way, when I began that journey, my idea of a mountain was the Preseli Mountains in West Wales, which most people have no idea about, but trust me, they're like speed bumps compared to the real big things, right? So I built mastery over a period of a decade. Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hours to mastery, and I 100% agree with him. I don't know where he plucked that number from the air, but he's not far off, I don't think, which is what is it that you want to learn? What would you regret not learning? What's your path to mastery? Now, some of you already done this in your career, right? You've already, the amount of hours you're going to spend in your career, you should gain mastery through that career. By the way, you'll spend about 100,000 hours in your career if you just work an average work life. So 10,000 hours to mastery, you start to see the context of that. So what is it that you want to master? What is it that you regret not learning or not fully embracing or not fully going? But this might be a hobby. It doesn't have to be obviously work. I've been on a path to mastery within the business world. I love business, I love strategy, and I will continuously evolve in that world. But I've also been on a mastery path in other areas, mountaineering being one. Spirituality, meditation. I'm massive in that world, and I'm learning. I'm like a novice in there at the moment, and I continue on a path to mastery on that. Certainly within nutrition, nootropics, the whole nutritional realm to me is super important, and I'm always on an evolving path to mastery there. And there's 10,000 hours dedicated to each of those realms and more. But I've chosen where I wish mastery. I've chosen where I want to get education because I've chosen it for me. What's important to me at the deepest level. The question is what's important to you. So I'm going to leave that one with you. What is it you want to master? What would you regret not learning at a deep level? Maybe it's time to go back to school. I'm going back to school again soon. I've been in and out. I've done so much further education, and I'll continue till the day I die. So choose. Don't go out with regret on this one now. This is about choice, and we can start learning straight away. The beautiful thing with all of this access we've got right now is you can learn anything right now. Start it, but start on a path to mastery. I will see you in the next video. Now we're coming into the top 3 next, so watch out. It starts to hot up. See you in the next video for number 3.